Today is a privilege. There's acting royalty in the house. देखिए कुछ ऐसे actors होते हैं, and both on my left are such that just bring such joy. One gentleman that has brought joy for over the years, and the other lady, every time she comes on screen, a few of them have to do a lot. She has to do nothing, and then the casting is brilliant in this case as well. But she just walks in with those little eyes, and it just wins the screen. Aditi, thank you so much for joining us. And Naseer Saab, it is always an honor. And people can't understand the nuances that have been taken over the years. When you watch your own performances now, when you look back, when you look now, are you able to enjoy them as much?
No, I don't watch them.
But there has to be, there's like a little book. We always keep going on about Pacino and De Niro, ये सारे नाम जो international cinema के हम लोग बात करते हैं. You are one of those books for us over here as well. How does this sit on your shoulder?
Very lightly. I have to say, I don't take myself seriously at all. It tires me to hear myself described as a legend and this and that. I'm just an ordinary guy who got lucky and who did his best when he got lucky.
No, but there's a lot of thought that has gone into the craft also. Aajkal ke log kya hai? Unfortunately, why I say this is, there was a demarcation is what was required to become a star, and uske baad chalte hi chale gaya. Audiences aa gayi, social media aa gaya, fans aa gaye, and it continued. Somewhere I feel like, the shiddat hoti hai to become a good actor, and the mehnat jo lagti hai, that I feel has receded, not just in acting, in performing arts also. Does that sometimes make you sad and upset that, they get the opportunity and they just take it and they don't spend enough time, all the current bunch?
That is their problem. I don't make it my business to judge other actors. There are some actors whose work I enjoy greatly and I watch that. But to me, as I said, I really think that for me, why I say it was luck, I don't say that I didn't try. I did. Acting was the only thing. I decided when I was about 12 or 13 that I wanted to be an actor. And I was encouraged by some teachers. But I happened to appear in Bombay at a time when actors like me were needed. That's where I say I was lucky. Luck is a combination of factors, Luck is not something that drops onto you from the sky. God's blessing kind of thing. 75 was the time I finished with the Film Institute. Shyam Benegal had just made his first film. Mrinal Sen's films were being seen. Bhuvan Shom had been a big success. Basu Chatterjee had just started. Basu Bhattacharya had just started. Mr. Ray, of course, was around. And so I thought that these are the kind of films that I would get employment in. And sure enough, that's what happened. Shyam's second film, I got a very important part. And I just never looked back. I realized that if I messed up here, that would be the end of the story for me. And I'd had a lot of conflict with my family, with my father in particular. In fact, he and I could never heal our relationship because he thought I was wasting my life. But it was just luck. I was in the right place at the right time. That's all.
And with the right skill set. Ye bahut zaruri hai. Yeah. You can be the right place at the right time, but it doesn't really matter. And there's just something about, Aditi, every time we see you, some people the camera loves. And it happens not with everyone. Even in the trailer as well, it's such a grand setup. It's just so, and then there's this whoosh that you come in with.
Yeah.
I know that people have said this over the years to you also. You look very regal and royal and all those kind of things. But when you see yourself on screen also, sometimes you have to go, not bad. Do you say that with your performances and with the way you see it? I mean, it has to happen. Why a performer will say that? Achha ke liye aaj, as a batsman.
I obviously I don't feel that about myself. It's very I'm usually watching like this when I watch. And I'm like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
But I love hearing it.
Yeah.
I love hearing people say nice things, obviously.
Yeah.
But I know somewhere that it's the way they look at me. I don't look at myself like that.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
But when you see yourself cast in roles like this, see, the casting also happens in a certain way.
I love it.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And possibly because of how often people say it, I'm like, okay, maybe they don't have to tell me too many times to stand straight and walk a certain way or whatever. But I'm like, that's not, I mean, there's so much more to it, you know.
नहीं अदाएं लेकिन होती है, like there's a small sequence of you dancing also. वो सिखाई नहीं जा सकती हैं, मतलब वो डांस सिखाया जा सकता है, लेकिन अदाएं नहीं सिखाई जा सकती. Like माधुरी दीक्षित आंखों में ही खेल लेंगी, for
Today is
example.
a really good day for me. First of all, you've like, I love it. Keep talking. See, this is what I love. I love it. Keep talking. But I rather not talk about myself. You talk about me. I don't
No,
mind.
what I think is it's the joy that she takes in dancing. And that's the difference, I think, between a mediocre dancer and a great dancer. It looks effortless, first of all. And it's not effortless. Hell, it's not.
Of course.
You know, but to experience the joy of actually dancing, that is something that Aditi has, and that's something that Madhuri also has.
Yes.
Not many other girls have it.
Wow. you need to frame this little piece that Sarah said.
Or I'll go and hide somewhere.
This is really big mounting. You know, when I look at shows, and when they talk about films also, you know, mounting, the scale and all that, I think you're able to sort of take it further. Even with the trailer, you're seeing the action sequences well shot. There you can figure out, you know, if there's a little bit of cost cutting that happens, let's put it that way. But this huge scope for performance also. So Naseer sir is there, and there's this major setup. I'm so happy to see Sandhya as well also in it, you know, after a long time. When you get offered this, is it an immediate yes? या फिर script पढ़ा भी जाता है क्या ऐसे type के show के लिए?
If I were to be very honest, it wasn't an immediate yes.
Oh,
because
really?
I was doing Jubilee already, and I was like, how I can't do so many shows because I was doing like
Yes.
a lot of multiple language stuff. And Ron, the director, and the writer William and all, they came to my house and we had this discussion, and they were just really, I mean, I like their perspective, you know, and the way they spoke about these people normally is Akbar, Anarkali, Salim. But they were like Akbar, Anarkali, Salim. It was all very like they're your neighbors. Yeah, and they're having this little drama, and you know, like we're writing about this little family drama that they had.
Yeah.
But we're going to be in costume, and then I think the real, my eyes lit up when they said, when they told me that that Akbar is being played by Naseer sir. I was like, oh, okay. Because there's a thing of, you know, these are people who've come from outside. I don't know them.
Yeah.
Yes, their excitement is very infectious.
Yeah.
But, I mean, however, you know, simple this sounds, credibility in a thing like this is very, very
Of course, he's the
important.
ISI mark.
Yeah. And for me, I'll do less, but it has to be like it has to be credible. And then there's also this thing of, you know, you're on set with people who you really want to be on set with. You know, you spend a lot of time, especially they really spend a lot of time. I spend much less time. But you have to enjoy yourself. You have to want to come to set every day and learn and enjoy yourself. And in fact, you know, the first question that you had, Naseer sir, I was like, I want to answer this because, you know, what Naseer sir said is so true, and I look at it from the outside, right? As somebody who looks up to legendary people and people who really inspire me, and people I have a lot of love and respect for, including the directors I work with and Naseer sir. And so you know, there are people like this that we are lucky enough to work with. And then what happens is, and this I learned from when I was little because I learned dance, and quite often you're surrounded by great artists, and I always feel like sometimes, you know, we fanboys and girls can make legends. We can tend to alienate them and almost make them lonely on their pedestal.
Yeah.
But it's so important to let them also, you know, be the artists, the child, you know, they're also having fun. They're also discovering what they're discovering. And I saw Naseer sir do that on set. Like I remember before I walked onto set, I had elephants stomping in my stomach. They were not butterflies, trust me. I was like, oh my God, what is going to happen to me? I'm going to get scolded because my language is so bad first.
Yeah. Actually, that's another thing I was counting. Yeah.
And then so many things, you know, I don't want to mess up a shot just because I'm a kaddu. And you know, you think so many things, but then you walk onto set and you're like, okay, yes, legend. But Naseer sir also wants to play. And he also wants to figure out the scene, and he also is, you know, having fun. And then in 10 minutes, I was like, I was comfortable enough and happy enough on set to ask him any dumb question that I wanted to ask him. And I really enjoyed, that is what I really enjoyed. And he also, I think, took it upon himself to be the Jagat father of the set.
The atmosphere.
To feed us and to make sure that we were all okay and not like sleeping at some unearthly hour because we were working extra. So all this is also lovely. And, and that's the lovely thing about working with experienced people who are incredible but also love what they do. They are still childlike and having fun.
I think that's always come through, sir. Even when your discussions, your sense of humor is just so sharp, razor sharp wit. But even when I saw this show, like a little teaser trailer, I love the idea of what they're trying to put across. Just the idea, just the first line, just the storyline. Let's put it this way: just not with age. You'll have to earn it. See, these discussions of Mughal Sultanate and all, सालों भर से चलती आई हैं. It's always difficult to get a different viewpoint, different perspective. So is that primarily why, of course, performance-oriented role आपके लिए हर बार offer होगा. But the idea and the treatment of this kind of story, is that what excited you?
Right, exactly. And the different perspective of looking at these characters.
Yeah.
And that is because the writers and the director were not conditioned by Hindi cinema. Because Hindi cinema has painted a very rosy picture of the Mughals. They're always very refined and cultured and treat their women well. And I don't think that was actually how it was. They were from the wasteland in Afghanistan. So I really think that the beauty of this country got enraptured them when they came here. And that is what the writers probably considered more significant, rather than to... See, grandeur is something you can't get away from when you're dealing with the Mughals.
Of course.
So the grandeur has to be a given.
Yeah.
But only grandeur itself isn't enough.
Yeah.
So what these people did was to sort of delve into these characters, which perhaps is a little bit fictional, but I would think perfectly valid to make the story dramatic.
Do you, as a performer, also have a switch on, switch off button, or are you just totally clued in on set in the sense that if you're in this character, you'll figure out the whole day, or is it an easy on-off in front of camera?
No, it's not an on-off thing. I don't know about that. I think film acting is more exhausting than acting in the theatre. And that's because you have to stay within the context of it all day.
Right.
I don't mean you got to stay in character all day.
Right.
Which means I can't start behaving like Akbar when I go to my dressing room.
हमारे ला है जा.
हमारा हुक्म है, तखलिया, and so on. So this becoming the character thing is absolutely...
Yeah.
You have to represent the character, that's what I believe.
Right.
Though there was a time when I thought that becoming the character is what it's all about. When I was young and I was into this method acting, and if I'm playing a villager, I must live like a villager kind of stuff, which I got disabused of very early, because the way the villagers live is not something that a city-bred guy like me can take.
I think a lot of people will expect a lot of things also, because with OTT experiences, it always started with most people with the Game of Thrones in their lives when they started watching it, So they'll end up always comparing things that, for India, it was Bahubali which started.
But can I just say, we are the OG country of writing epics.
Yes,
Mahabharata,
yes,
Punniyin Selvan.
But the younger, so actually with this OTT world, so a lot of 13 to 19-year-olds that have only heard of Naseer Saab are now seeing him perform. So I think there's a new world that is coming that is just being in awe of performances. Maybe why we've all taken it up a notch also as far as production values are concerned. Are you shocked at the production values of OTT shows now?
No, because there's a lot of investment in it. So if it's disappointing, like some are, then that's very heartbreaking, because you feel that a whole lot of resources have gone to waste. But what you mentioned is very pleasing to me, that people who haven't seen my work are finally seeing the short films that I've done.
I actually ended up watching a lot of short films of yours.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm finding that those short films are proving very, very fruitful, because the filmmaker doesn't have to worry about pressures from producers.
True.
He doesn't have to worry about censors. He doesn't have to worry about box office collections. He doesn't, people can see it if they want and they don't see it if they don't want. And they are exploring areas which no producer would allow them to.
Possibly,
There's this wonderful short movie I did called Interior Cafe Night, which everybody calls Internet Cafe for some reason, which was shot in one night, inside one room.
Wow.
And it's one of the most beautiful films I've ever done. And it's been on the YouTube for about 5 or 6 years. And no producer would have given this young man the money to make that into a feature or even a short film.
Wow.
So I think these short films are helping being the training ground for young filmmakers to make original stuff, not formula stuff.
I envy everyone that was on this set. I can sit and listen to you all talk for hours. It's been such a pleasure. This extremely short time where we sort of appear relevant about the story.
Somebody's making this thing that you know.
Yeah, of course. They've got their little bits, unfortunately. But like I said, this show really, really made me excited because I like seeing grand scale, but for me, performance is of primary importance. When I see the star cast, this is one of those ones you see, like how you all see the script, we see the star cast, okay, whatever it is, we'll watch. Thank you so much, sir. Real honor.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Aditi.
Thank you. So happy to see you.
And there's lots more of her this year. This is going to be a very, very big year. 23 is going to be a turning year for so many people. And I think it's going to also be a new year for performance, whether it's cinema or whether it's OTT, because the learnings of 21, 22 are slowly coming in. What is not working mostly. So 23 might be the year where things might start to work. That's very important. I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.